And Michael McKee with us in Washington as well. To the two of you, I've got one question. Mike, let me start with you. Our audience on radio and television is looking at a mortgage rate of 8%. It's either outright shock or how do we adjust to that as citizens? How do we adjust to that within our daily life? From where you sit, Mike, is the Fed aware that a 30-year mortgage is 8%?
Oh, of course they are. And I've talked to many of them about that, and they do recognize it is a bit of a problem and conundrum because they've raised rates and sort of killed the housing market because they're in a different situation than we have been since I can remember, where their rate increases are so much higher than what people were able to take out mortgages at that nobody wants to sell their houses. The thought seems to be that if they start coming back down, they will get to a level, maybe in the threes, where mortgage rates will come down to 4 or 5%, and people might start buying again because that won't seem too bad. But it's going to take a while, obviously.
Well, Claudia, bring this over to academics as well. You're writing the next paper at Jackson Hole here on the American housing market. Are we at a point, Lisa and I have talked about this, are we at a point where for elites like you, the housing market doesn't matter?
Not just for me, right? There were a lot of people that refinanced or purchased housing when we had a very low interest rate. I mean, the housing market has been very disrupted, both in a really good place and now in a really bad place. Like, this has been a tough cycle, and those who timed it properly, and there were millions of Americans who refinanced their homes, they're in a good place right now. And like you said, it does make it trade. They don't want to sell. They don't want to let go of that.
Lisa, we're completely colored by this in New York City, which is a completely wacko, original housing market. To me, this is the arch. We have to live in our houses. I believe that, like every month it's a mortgage payment or a rent payment. And these numbers, to me, have a greater effect than anything else we talk about. 8% mortgage filters into everybody's pocketbook.
It affects their mobility and their willingness to move, especially given the fact that it's going to be unaffordable for the vast majority of people to do so.